So I'm having this weird or just unusual problem that I haven't experienced before with the chain on my 2015 Yamaha WR250R. Okay, so the best way I can describe it, and I looked it up on the forums, I looked it up online to see if anyone's got a clear description or if anyone's seen this issue before, and I'm just calling it chain bounce. When I'm riding, especially at right around 40 miles an hour, but at speed, up to probably even 60 miles an hour at different load, as I get on the throttle, the chain will just start bouncing up and down like this. The top part of the chain, not that down here, which is slack, but up here. And it bounces just all the way up. It just goes taut like this, and then it snaps down and it hits the chain guide, and it just keeps doing that very fast. It's not as quick as a wheel out of balance or anything like that. So, you can see the chain guide here's getting kind of worn down, probably more so because of this issue, but nothing too extreme here. Hard to see in the cover, but the top and bottoms of the swing arm protector are there, and the sprocket back here is a 47 tooth. It's been replaced. It's a brand new sprocket. The chain is a brand new chain, and the front countershaft sprocket is brand new. For reference, this problem had been going on for probably like 1,000 miles, maybe 1,500 miles, and it's kind of been progressively getting worse. So you can see here's what my old sprocket looked like. It's definitely getting worn down. I probably could have replaced this even earlier. It's a aluminum SRT sprocket, and also of interest is, I only got about 4,000 miles on this sprocket, which I think is kind of low. It's an aluminum sprocket, so I didn't expect it to last as long as a steel sprocket, but I've never had a sprocket last that little amount of time. Only 4,000 miles. The bike has 6,000 miles on it, and right around the time I started owning it, this sprocket got replaced. So not many miles. Here's what the front sprocket looks like, also with about 4,000 miles on it. Worn, but not as bad definitely as the rear sprocket, and I wouldn't even have said that this was very critical or very severe. It's got, the teeth aren't bent or starting to cup over, just a little bit of rounding on the edges on the front and back face of the sprocket. So I wouldn't call that necessarily too bad. And the chain, the chain I took off was an O-ring chain. It felt fine. No hard spots in it, no kinks, nothing of that going on. I oiled it a couple times, throughout its life, and it felt fine. The last thing we'll look at here is, I know someone's going to complain. They're going to be like, dude, your chain slack is all totally out of whack. And I just put this chain on. I adjusted my chain slack several times before. Here's kind of what it looks like visually. It does look a little bit slack, but for comparison, I'm going to set the GoPro down. I don't know how well it's going to be able to see. I don't know if that's in view or not, to be honest. But here's how I measure it. I put this up to the swing arm, to the top. I'm going to move this back just so hopefully you can actually see. And this hand. I set it there, and with the chain, basically down or loose, it's at, the top of the chain is at 55 millimeters, maybe 60 millimeters. When I push it up with a good amount of force, I'm really pushing it, that's at about 25 millimeters. So from 25 to 55 is about 30 millimeters. And the spec says 25 to 35 millimeters. I'll double check it, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. So this is on the loose end of spec. I'm gonna probably put this GoPro in the case up here, which has a really good view actually of the chain as it runs, and I'm just gonna take a spin up and down the street and show you real time kind of what's going on here.